INS. So we'll start with you because you are captain of the ship. So we'll start with you. The Hunt trailer looks amazing, and because I was there in 1991, so I was very small in school और हमें याद है वो सब जो कुछ हुआ है. So it brings back memory, of course, but a show of this level, The Hunt. So how long did it take for you to think from conceptualization to the implementation and the shoot and entire thing? And how did this idea come to your mind?
Well, actually the idea was pitched by Anirudhya Mitra, who wrote the book 90 Days on which the show is based. He was the one who pitched it to Applause. And Sameer Nair, who heads Applause, reached out to me. We've been doing a lot of shows with them. So he asked me if I'd be interested, and my initial instinct was to say no because I didn't want to do anything political. But he said, this is nothing to do with politics as much as it has everything to do with a true crime thriller, a police procedural, if you will. So that's what got me excited. And then once I read the book, I knew how I wanted to approach it. So from that moment, if you'd actually take the whole journey, it was still about 15 months or so. Not to mention the amount of time that Anirudhya took to write the book and then bring it to Applause. So we finally finished this show a little bit last year. Yeah, I'd say about 15 months.
But a show of this kind needs, some extra research also.
Correct.
So yeah, so from your level or from your team level, did you speak to the people connected with the case? Did you get a chance to speak to people connected with the case?
So it was a decision that Applause as the producer took, that we would keep the entire focus on the book, because then we can trace it back to how we approached each scene or each incident. The thing is, with an event of this magnitude, there were a lot of people involved, and a lot of them wrote books, a lot of them had points of view. So we couldn't clutter this whole thing and make a mess of different people with different angles. So we had to keep it to one, and we chose Anirudhya's version of the events because he was a journalist during that time, and a lot of it are his first-hand accounts. So that's how we went about it.
So now we'll come to you, Amit sir. Do you have memories of this incident?
Yeah, of course. So as you have, me too. I think I was in school. I was around 16 when this happened, and I don't like, my memories entail more of a feel than visual memories. Like, I know how the country felt at that moment, how my neighbors felt, what the kind of gloom it brought with it. I remember that clearly. Yeah.
Wow.
And since you are, leading the team in the show, did you refer to any of those characters, or was it completely?
Yeah. I read a lot about Mr. Karthikeyan's life. I saw a lot of his online interviews. Saw a lot of pictures that were available online, and actually one of the interviews really helped me because he was talking about the case itself. He was generally talking about what he had, his service tenure and what all it entailed, and then this case also he discussed about, not going too detailed, not divulging too many details or not going too deep into it, which then of course we had the script through the book. And actually I honestly didn't have that much time to do the case research per se, right? So I was relying heavily on Nagesh Bhai, the script, and a couple of my co-actors, and Mr. Bucks. I think he's an encyclopedia on this case.
Yeah.
And but I did a lot of research because I had to. It was a huge responsibility to get Mr. Karthikeyan right, just right, and at least the effort should show that I tried to do it right. Hopefully I have done it right. I don't know yet. We'll let the audience talk about that. But yeah, I did go through a lot of articles and videos to get Karthikeyan right.
So you spoke about conversation with neighbors, about, obviously it was, I remember, what all was the conversation, but if I ask you some memory of Rajiv Gandhi, because it was like he used to come on Doordarshan and we used to listen to his
Yeah, he was a
speeches and all.
heartthrob. He was like a heartthrob PM, of the
Totally.
country, and very very popular with the ladies. and see, I was little when the assassination of Indira Gandhi happened, right? Then I was too little to maybe understand it that much. But then over a period of time till I started growing up, then this happened. So actually there is a line that Karthikeyan says, the unlucky part of Gandhi family
Yeah.
being unlucky. And I could completely, absorb that line when I said it in the series, because I completely felt it. I completely felt it because I've actually felt it in my real life also. And yeah.
And Sahil will come to you now. He just spoke that you are encyclopedia on this case.
Not him.
Not me.
Okay,
Mr.
Bucks.
Mr. Bucks, who's
Okay,
left.
Mr. Bhagwati Perumal.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
He's also quite intelligent. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean that he is.
Perumal or Perumal?
Perumal.
Perumal, no? I've been calling him Perumal. Okay.
Okay, because you look quite young, so were you born at that
I was
time?
7 years old and I was in Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu?
I was living in Tamil Nadu when this happened.
Oh.
I was in Salem, not very far away from when this happened. And I remember people talking about it a lot. I remember people gossiping about it. I remember people making their own
Conspiracy theories.
conspiracy
Judgments,
theories.
yeah.
Everybody,
Assumptions.
I remember a conversation very clearly where people were telling each other where the bomb might be. Somebody said, Malala bomb irundichi. That means Mala mein bomb tha. Somebody was saying bomb zameen ke andar tha. People would, I remember people only talked about this for days. And
Yeah, they did actually.
and nobody could believe that something like this had happened, and everybody just, especially in Tamil Nadu, living there, this was the one thing that everybody spoke about. That time, 6-7-year-old boy, whatever I could gather, was an important person.
Also because it
Yes.
brings a certain kind of repute to the place where it's happened. No?
Correct.
And by the people that it's happened at the hands of.
Correct.
Yeah.
Also tell us about your character and how did you prepare for it?
I play Superintendent of Police Amit Verma. There were many ways we prepared for our characters. The one obviously was the same thing that Amit Bhai said. A lot came from Nagesh sir. His inputs kind of guided us to because there were these nuggets of information he would keep giving us during the shoot. He was like that. He did this. And with all of those little things that our characters had done in the past, we kind of pieced together a personality which kind of wasn't very difficult after having conversations with him over chai or over breakfast before the shoot or after the shoot. Plus, whatever little is available on the internet, because once you get a part, once you're told that you're going to play this role, your first instinct is to try and find out as much about, but there's not a lot available. Hardly any pictures of SP Amit Verma are available on the internet.
Yeah.
Hardly 4 lines about each of these officers is written on a website where they are described. And
As part of the team. So
that's all we had to, and again, like you said earlier in the day, fill in the blanks. The fill in the blanks became very easy with his inputs. So that's how you prepare for a role. I know I was the rebel kid in the gang. I was the fiery one. So you just had to find moments to kind of let that fire out.
So tell us about your memories of the incident if you have any.
I was not born yet. I was born 3 years later, and I remember, I think around 98, 99, when I was 5, 6, my mother told me about it. And that was the first time I'd heard about a suicide bomber, which was too disturbing for me at the time. Mother decided she will not tell me such things
Actually,
anymore.
India got to know about suicide bomber
Yeah,
due to this
India
incident.
nahi,
I think the
world.
whole world.
I think the world,
Yeah.
it
Whole
is
world, yeah.
very new. So
Correct.
that's the only memory I had as a kid, because my mother telling me.
Yeah. And also, please elaborate a bit about your character.
So I play Captain Ravindran, now Major Ravi. He was NSG, the captain of the Black Cat Commandos, and basically the investigative team would investigate, and they needed someone to execute their plans, and that was the job of Captain Ravindran and his men. And what was your question exactly?
No, just I wanted to speak more about
Elaborate
your
on your character.
On the character? Well, honestly, everything I got about the character was from Nagesh sir. There is not much on the internet about Captain Ravindran until 1991. After that, there's a lot because he became a filmmaker, he used to consult on films and stuff. But there was not a lot to glean there for me. It was nothing, no information I could use. So at some point, I even took the book, I read the book as well. I started reading the book. But then I realized that Nagesh sir and the writers are adapting the book also. This is another adaptation. So I decided that I'm just going to go with what the text is giving, because the script was very rich. It gave me a lot to work with, and of course Nagesh sir's vision was quite helpful. I think one of the first things he told me was, this guy is a rock star. He started with that, and then from there we had to find out who he was.
Nagesh sir, how difficult was it to create the scene of the blast? Because obviously in my memory that I have, ऐसे सब बिखरे हुए टूटे हुए सब. What was it like?
You know, creatively, I don't show the blast, right? So the camera moves away from the actual area, and then you just hear the blast, you don't see it. But what you see is the aftermath of the blast. So I had to walk that fine line in showing the carnage and not showing the carnage. So if you see, there are some elements, it was a bloody mess when the bomb went off, but at the same time nothing to sensationalize it. The camera just kind of shows that, because I couldn't completely sanitize it and not show anything, right? So I had to creatively pick that, because it's such a painful memory for everyone involved, including the family.
The family, yeah.
That I didn't want to go down that road of showing the actual mess, which the real, the photographers who were on location that day, they had just taken all the pictures of the carnage and they had published it. So I didn't want to recreate that.
In the promo, I saw there was a dialogue where you are referring to the Kennedy murder case. उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए, and what was that reference about?
The reference point was what Karthikeyan suggested in the trailer, that we cannot allow it to become a Kennedy assassination case. Ki who done it? We have to find who's done it. You know, so it was basically mentioning that. And I think Kennedy assassination also happened a few years. When did Kennedy assassination happen?
63. 11/22 63.
So they did not want this to be a case where it's like the case is yet still open, right? They haven't been able to find who did it and how they did it. So I think it was majorly a reference to that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. You were talking about the political aspects in the beginning, and because there is nothing political about it, as I've lost all. But then when you make a series or you make a show like this, अगर आप चाहे भी ना चाहे, there are some elements, that might create some
Correct.
controversy. So how do you take care, and how did you take care in this case?
See, I've done it to the best of my ability. I've handled it with the utmost sensitivity. I've made sure that I steer clear. When the opportunity presented itself to do scenes that could have political implications, I stayed away from that. I've done everything. But we live in a time where people can generate a controversy out of anything, right? So that's the reality of the situation we are in. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's the nature of the beast. So let's see what happens from our side. I've done everything to not include that.
Amit sir, जैसे you said, obviously you spoke about director and the book and all the references. But if I ask your input for the character and for the entire show, वो आपकी तरफ से क्या रहा?
फॉर्चुनेटली अनफॉर्चुनेटली इसमें मेरा ज़्यादा इनपुट था नहीं, वो हो भी नहीं सकता था, बिकॉज आई एम फॉलोइंग द लीड ऑफ अ रियल लाइफ कैरेक्टर, राइट, एंड आई हैड टू बी I had to have this utmost responsibility towards being absolutely honest and true to the living person and the true incident that happened. So again, I'd mention that it all stemmed out from the little bit of research that I did on Karthikeyan Saab and the script and everything. And we tried to fill in the blanks, you know, कि अच्छा अगर ये पहले बोला है और ये अभी बोला है तो इसके बीच में ऐसा कुछ करा होगा या बोला होगा, you know, but that was all very well etched out in the script itself. So इसमें मेरा कोई input नहीं है. I just had to be damn sure that I do not give any input of mine into this.
Nagesh sir, earlier, there were, kind of, we used to hear that, okay, India में जो है, filmmakers, they don't make, real life, show or film made on incidents like real life incidents like West does, like Hollywood or, other countries. With this, with last few shows, I have seen things have changed a lot. The way our filmmakers are making it and presenting it. Have you got any such comment? And like, मैं general बात कर रही हूँ. So do you also see a change in last 10 years, the way real life assassination cases, real life incidents have been made into movies, and the way they are treated?
Well, I guess we are going through a phase now where such stories are being welcomed. These things happen only when people make it and it finds an audience. If it doesn't find an audience, trust me, in just a few years this would have all fizzled out. But it is finding an audience. So people are delving more into our own history and retelling incidents. So that is a good thing. We'll see where this goes. It truly depends on whether we have an audience or not.
Thank you so much for talking to INS. Thank you all.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Pleasure.